Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. It's been a while ever since we talked about Arsenal news, and the last time we talked was about a week or so, and a lot has really happened with Arsenal, and we do not have a crisis. That's one of the things I love at the club. At the club at the moment, we don't have a crisis. We are actually very, very well. We are. We have won 4 in 4 of our last 4 games. That is a positive. That is an absolute positive. And there are a couple of stories that we have to talk about. I will speak about Yves Bissouma. I will speak about the likes of Marco Asensio. Now it looks like there is this kind of growing need for a new midfielder after Granit Xhaka getting that nasty injury. You do expect it, didn't you? Of course, I didn't expect Xhaka to get the injury, but the rumors of Arsenal getting in a new midfielder, the rumors of Arsenal, tracking the likes of Zakaria in January, the likes of Yves Bissouma in January, and the likes of Marco Asensio in January. Actually, with Marco Asensio, most stories say that Arsenal, have gone ahead to provide an official bid. We'll get into that as well. But there are a couple of other things that we have to talk about, and that is Leno. Leno has come out and said it's not that Leno wants out. I want us to get this very, very clear. Yes, the situation around the club is suggesting that Leno wants out. And look, even if I were Leno, I want out. I want out. The club is not actually giving me what I want, but he's not saying he wants out. He's actually come out and said and broken the silence and said Mikel Arteta has not given him any reasons, right? He has not given him any reasons as to why he's been dropped, and he says it is certainly not coming from his bad performance or poor performance. So he's saying his performances have never been a question and have never been a concern as to why he was dropped. There was some talk that he would actually resume with the Tottenham game. It never happened. And Ramsdale was actually in goal against Tottenham Hotspur. Now, with such a goalkeeper, with such a young goalkeeper, gaining footing, what exactly does that mean for Ban Leno? Inter Milan are interested. I think Inter is the only club interested at the moment. What's going to happen with Ban Leno? And do we have a dressing room crisis with Mikel Arteta and Leno probably falling out? We will speak about that as well. And then Mikel, of course, we've got to talk about the dramatic ways in which Mikel Arteta has turned around results. Probably it's one of the things actually we have to talk about. The most important things, because he's been nominated in the Manager of October Manager of the Month, awards. He's among the managers that have actually been nominated, and it's one thing that I love, really. It's one thing that I really love. I want to see Arsenal doing well. I'm not a Mikel Arteta in man, you know that, but I'm happy for Mikel. I'm happy for Mikel. He's doing well. Results are coming in. The football is progressive. It's not really that good. I can't really say. I can't really put myself on the wall and say the football is good and things like that. But one thing I love for sure is the fact that we are progressing. The football is progressing. The nature of football, his signing is actually working out. I don't know how much time it took him to scout these lads, but most of them are actually working out. And maybe he's just bailed himself out, right? Maybe he's just bailed himself out, himself out. So why not smash a like on the video? Do subscribe to the channel. Answer the question in the comments below. Should Leno leave? As simple as that. That's the question. We're not even having a poll. We shall have the poll in the coming live streams. Good evening, Arsenal. That is the show. Always 9 p.m. We'll be having this. But should Leno leave? Right? Should Leno leave? That's the question for today's evening Arsenal show. Should Leno leave? Why not? Let's get our party started. And to start the party, let's start off with Granit Xhaka's nasty injury that is a setback to Mikel Arteta. I say this in the press conference reaction, and I say, look, Xhaka is an Arsenal player, and all of us do understand the fact that Xhaka being around is some kind of confidence. It just gives some kind of confidence to uh, to Mikel Arteta because he loves him as a player, and you saw it against Spurs. The moment uh, you know his suspension, was nullified or got over, he actually brought him in the Spurs game, and he didn't let him down. He actually performed very, very well. So I will give credit for to Mikel for that. Trusting a player like Xhaka, who has really had a very bad time at Arsenal. Not really because the fans do not like him, just, but also because him as a player, one of the senior players in the side, has just actually failed to prove his worth, right? You know, 35 million pounds, there have always been this kind of analogies, and you can never stop them in football because that's the beauty of the game. There's always been this analogy that Arsenal should have bought or could have bought N'Golo Conte then for the same price that we bought Granit Xhaka. Arsene Wenger then thought Xhaka would be the better option. And look, I'm not in any position to question Arsene Wenger's decisions. I'm not in any position to do that. But what I can say about Xhaka is the time he spent at Arsenal, he's been average. I don't know. I don't know if I'm right. I don't know if I'm wrong. But I just feel like he's been average, absolutely average. I've not seen the masterclass performance that players like N'Golo Conte, because N'Golo Conte again is a player of his time. I've not seen such performances from Granit Xhaka, because just look at Conte. Just imagine having Conte where Xhaka plays. You would get so much more. You would get a lot, in that regard. But to close all, to close that off, Xhaka suffers this nasty injury. It's a big blow to Arsenal. It's a big blow to Mikel Arteta because first and foremost, it's a big blow to us because we don't have so many midfielders. We don't have, we don't have, the luxury like United do have. You have, they have a Scott McTominay, they have a Donny van der Beek, they have a Nemanja Matic, Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes. They have Fred, the Brazilian. I think that's it. Right? But that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot. You have Nemanja Matic, who never plays. I think Antoine Mata, by the way. So, and then Donny van der Beek, who actually doesn't want to, stay at United. And I will talk about that, and I'll give you my thoughts on Donny van der Beek and why Arsenal should at least try to get that one done. Let's try. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. So, Xhaka is a big blow, especially to Mikel Arteta. And what he wants to do. Because if you still remember, at the end of the summer, Edu said we didn't see it fit to buy in another midfielder because we believe Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka are going to be the two men in that pivot. And look, what he said absolutely makes a lot of sense because he was saying, he was explaining on how the club is building a foundation, and how they want to have all these kind of things rolling and things like that. But again, think about it. If we are Arsenal Football Club, we've got to have three good midfielders, not only two. For the past 2 seasons, we have had this problem. Partey gets injured, or one key midfielder gets injured, and the whole quality is absolutely down, right? And I think we are in the same situation because you can't guarantee that from now, October the 1st, until then, January the 1st, 3 straight months, Partey is going to be playing football match day in, match day out, and he doesn't get injured or he doesn't get a knock, right? So if Partey, for instance, gets a knock, because for me, without Xhaka, then Partey becomes God in the Arsenal midfield. Sorry to say, he becomes the God in the Arsenal midfield. So if Partey gets injured, Xhaka is ruled out for 3 months. Where do you go from there, right? You're going to start doing the tinkering, and then you're going to lose. Before you know it, you're going to lose 3 games, 9 points gone. You're going to draw 2 games. That is around 4 points. 4 points gone. You're back in 13th. You're back in 12th. So I think it was a lame transfer decision not to sign in a bargain of a player like Houssem Aouar. If they wanted to use Xhaka and Partey, well and fine, but you're never going to use Xhaka all the time. You're never going to use Partey all the time. You could have got a bargain in Housham Awa. I thought it would have been something that that would have worked out. But let's stop the blame game. Xhaka is out for 3 months. Where do we go from here? There is an option that Obusam Lokonga steps in, and I think this is his time to, because he's played well ever since he came in, but that is not announcing football. That is the same stage, where Ainsley Matenau's got a chance to be our right back, and then just played some good football. I think Lokonga's been good, absolutely very good, but he needs now to play what you call announcing football. Write the statements, get the chance, take it up with with both hands, use it. And the only way we're gonna believe that he's using the chance, the only way we're gonna believe that Obusam Lokonga is actually taking his chance with both arms, is by playing football that says Xhaka got no place in this team. This is my position. Because for me, with Obusam Lokonga, one of the things he has is he's got this kind of, I don't know what I should call it. He's got this kind of monopoly, right? He's got that kind of monopoly. There is no number 6 at Arsenal that is as good as Obusam Lokonga. We've got to say it. You've got to say it. Say it in the comments, comment below. I think Partey is good as a box-to-box. We've seen that. He can rule over the midfield. But there is no calm player in that side. There is no calm player that plays as Obusam Lokonga, especially if you want him to play as especially if you want him to play as a 6, which I think building his career around him playing as a 6 is what we've got to do. He's good, absolutely good. The tackle is good. His passing is absolutely lit, and he's not that kind of adventurous lad that's gonna be caught out of position 5-6 times. It might happen 1 or 2 times, but I just feel like he's got the ability to monopolize that area, to monopolize that number. Hey, this is my area. Don't tell me anything, right? So Obusam Lokonga is the first option. But think about January then. If Xhaka does not heal by January, we will have Obusam Lokonga, Smith Rowe, and Martin Odegaard as the 3 midfielders for a whole month, right? I don't think that's a wise decision. I don't think that is a wise decision. If we want to go back to Europa League, if we want to go back to Champions League, one of the things we've got to do, and we've got to absolutely focus on this, is squad depth. That's one of the things. Over time, clubs that lack squad depth have struggled. And we will struggle if we do not have squad depth. So our midfield is going to be empty come January. And even if it's not empty, the withdrawal of Thomas Partey to go to AFCON only makes it worse, right? It only makes it worse. Because you'll have Xhaka and Lokonga. I don't think both of them are that good in providing what you would call, the necessary power, to light up ESR and Martin Odegaard, like Partey does it. So, Xhaka in January, should Arsenal go for a midfielder? That's a big question there. And I would love to hear from you. Should we go for a midfielder? Should Arsenal panic? Because it's 2 ways. You could decide to go for a midfielder in January, and then you go for a panic buy. And I don't like panic buys. Absolutely. The likes of Kim Kalestrom, the likes of Yussi Benayoun, the likes of Santos, the likes of which other panic buy did we bring in? I remember we also brought in Sylvester from Manchester United, the likes of Danny Welbeck. Those are trash panic buys. I don't want them. I want us to go logical in the market, because that is how it works. I've always admired those transfer policies of the likes of Leicester City, Everton, Dortmund, and Liverpool. You've got to be logical at the end of the day. There's no question about that. You've got to be logical. So if we are going to go logical, you get someone in on loan in January to cover for Thomas Partey, right? And Granit Xhaka, who's just coming back. Because if a player is coming back, is coming from a 3-month injury, you don't expect them to hit the ground running like they've been training for months and months, right? So I think we should get in a new player on loan. Now, I've not thought about that. We could go to Borussia Mönchengladbach and maybe try to convince them to give us Dennis Zakaria, right, to replace Xhaka in January. Dennis Zakaria could be a very good option. And actually, Zakaria is a better option if you got him in January, because with Dennis Zakaria, his contract runs down. I don't know if I've not really found out if he has renewed, but the last information I had is that he had not renewed his contract. It runs down come this summer. If he doesn't renew, you get him on a free. Now, Borussia Mönchengladbach would come January, they will want to fight at least to get some penny, some pennies, a few pennies out of the sale of Dennis Zakaria, because he's a top midfielder, top player. You don't want to let him go on a free. He also plays for Switzerland, so if you don't like Swiss midfielders, then Zakaria is not one for you. But I think with Dennis Zakaria, he affects Albassambi Lokonga greatly, because he's just going to play in that area where Albassambi Lokonga plays, and together with Thomas Partey when Partey comes back. But you could play him with either Martin Odegaard or Smith Rowe, or even with Albassambi Lokonga in January. So it's logical to go with a player like Dennis Zakaria. You might not get him on loan, but you might get him on a small fee in January. Because in the summer, Gladbach wanted to keep him. He had 1 year left on his contract, and I think you could get him. You could get him. We could have got him between 18 to 19 million, right? 18 to 19 million euros. That is close to 15 million pounds. Now, in January, with player left with 6 months on his contract, what you could do is you could tie him down to a to a long-term contract, and then he joins you in the summer on a free. That would be good. That would be absolutely good. But we need a quick solution. We need a quick fix. I mean, the house is falling. The house, is falling on us. We need a quick fix. We need a quick plumber. So I was thinking about Zakaria as a quick plumber, as a quick solution, as a quick fix. Because if you think about the long term, I would think about players like Abdoulaye Doucouré. Those are the players I could think about. But you're not getting Abdoulaye Doucouré in January. Think about that. You're not getting Abdoulaye Doucouré in January. So option one, to replace Xhaka, you could go for Dennis Zakaria, who could be short term and long term. He's 24, just 24. So that shows you, the kind of benefits you're getting. You sign him in January. Of course, I know Arsenal will want to try to get him on a free after January. If you know Arsenal, you know us. If a player could be available on a free in the summer, we can't actually go for him in January. But I'll go for him in January. Dennis Zakaria, great man. Right. So option one, Dennis Zakaria. Right. Xhaka is out. Partey goes for AFCON. Bring in a Swiss midfielder that is never going to be disturbed by AFCON. And why the hell is AFCON being placed in the middle of the league? Can't you just place it at somewhere? I mean, why do we seem to be the problem? I'm just myself, because if you put AFCON in May, right? If you put AFCON in May, I wouldn't mind. I absolutely wouldn't mind, because the league is ending. But it is in the middle of, the Premier League. And then African federations, football federations will start asking, oh, why is it that our players do not break through in the European leagues? But if your players, are breaking through and then you're taking them in January to, once every 2 years, you're sabotaging the system, right? That is 4 game weeks. 4 game weeks. This is business. So, right, I don't want to take it out on AFCON. I do have my problems with African football governance, but not today. Right. The other option we will think about is Yves Bissouma. But for me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to sign Bissouma in January unless you're beating off competition. Does Arsenal do such kind of deals? I don't know. I don't know. I've not seen ourselves do such kind of deals, but it would be a good one. It would be a really really nice one, and because Liverpool want him, and I think he's left with 1 year this summer. He's left with 1 year on his contract, right? That means more attention. Probably not from Chelsea, but of course Chelsea. I don't think they will sign Sonny Baez. I don't think it's going to have a very good, fantastic period at Chelsea. So I don't think they will sign Sonny Baez up. Uh, N'Golo Conte is getting a little bit, um, old, so they might need to fit in someone there. But I think the two lions or three lions that could fight for Yves Bissouma is Manchester United, because United know now that the Mark Fred partnership in the midfield, McTominay and Fred, is not working out. They need to get serious midfielders. And maybe that just speaks volumes of how intense the competition could be, with Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester United fighting for Yves Bissouma. But if you want him as a quick fix, unless is Mali in? Did Mali qualify for Afcon? I think they did. I think they did because he represents Mali in on Africa. He represents Mali, doesn't he? Mali. Yeah, he represents Mali. So I don't see in any way, in any shape or form, I don't see Yves Bissouma being our quick fix in January. Yeah, he's a good player. Many Arsenal fans want him. You love him, I know. But January, he's not a quick fix. That's it. He's absolutely not a quick fix. If you want a quick fix, if we want a quick fix, you want a player who's not going, in Afcon as well. Because if Pat is going out for Afcon, and Bissouma is also going out for Afcon as well, unless I'm mistaken, unless he's not going out for Afcon, I should get more information on that. But I know he's gonna represent. I know he's gonna represent Mali in Afcon. So it's not one thing I'll do in January. But like I said, it's gonna be a lot of competition in the summer. You can tie him down. Of course, you can't tie him down. You can't tie him down to um, a contract because he's still under contract by with Brighton. But what you can do is maybe sign him up in January. It happens. You could talk to Brighton, and if they accept the terms, you sign him up in January. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it would make a lot of sense. But Bissouma, January, it's not happening for me, and it's not a quick fix, right? It's not a quick fix, and I don't see it happen. The other player that I've seen, and their chances, is Marco Asensio. I don't know if you've seen the story. Marco Asensio. Asensio has been admired by Mikel Arteta. Even in the summer, there were reports that Arsenal tried to sign up Marco Asensio, but things actually never worked out. Things never went through like we wanted. But I'll give you a simple rate. I'll give you a simple. Let's go through a simple rate. And this is from 442 Football. And they're saying Arsenal transfer news: Gunners to make second bid for Real Madrid's Marco Asensio in January. So they're saying Mikel Arteta's side had an offer for the winger rejected during the summer, right? Arsenal will try to sign Real Madrid winger Marco Asensio for a second time when the January transfer window opens, according to reports. Right? The Sun, that is Cadena Sa via the Sun. Look, Cadena Sa is best. I think it's best in Spain. Claimed that the Gunners had a 34 million pound bid for the Spaniard rejected this summer because Carlo Ancelotti wanted him to stay and play a key role, for Real Madrid. But the Star reports that Arsenal have not given up hope on signing the 25-year-old and will return to the table in January. Asensio started the season on the bench but broke into the team in La Liga recently, scoring a hat-trick against Mallorca on his first start of the season last week. He was an unused substitute of the Spaniards' humiliating 2-1 Champions League loss to Moldovan Minos Sheriff on Tuesday. Arsenal certainly aren't being shy with a checkbook at the moment after splashing out a club record fee of 142 million. Yes, talk about it. Over the summer on new players, including Ben White and Ramsdale, Martin Odegaard, and a couple of others. The latter came from Real Madrid, who is Martin Odegaard, and having a successful recent and having a recent successful negotiation could help the North London club in their efforts to seal a deal for Marco Asensio. The Spaniard international was tipped for great things as a youngster, but tore his ACL in a preseason game, I think he tore his ankle in a preseason game against the Gunners in the summer of 2019, ruling him out for most of the season before returning to score 7 goals in 48 games last season. All right, Marco Asensio. What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts? I'd love to know. I'd love to know what you think about Marco Asensio. Pick up everybody in the chat. Thanks everybody for being on. Right. What are your thoughts on Marco Asensio, guys? What are your thoughts on Marco Asensio? Because look, when I think about it, January, Marco Asensio, where exactly does he play? Because that's the question. Is he a midfielder? Are we planning on using him as an 8, or is he coming in as a winger? Because yes, he might be admired. I don't see Arsenal going out there splashing 40 million in January for Marco Asensio to be a winger. No. And maybe this is a story that comes off the back of the fact that Pepe could leave in January. But for me, that doesn't make any sense. Pepe, we might reach January, and Pepe is not even a key member in the Arsenal squad. We might reach January when Pepe has already been dropped and Smith Rowe is ahead of him. Because if Smith Rowe continues scoring goals, if Smith Rowe continues making good runs and creating space for others and creating chances and making those assists, then Pepe gets dropped, right? So Marco Asensio, we need to. I will need to talk about Asensio more. I will need to have more information on Marco Asensio, because if he's a winger, if we are going to deploy him as a winger, then there is no way he qualifies to be to be at Arsenal, right? There's no way he qualifies to be at Arsenal in January. Maybe in the summer. I do not have a problem with him joining in the summer. But January, Arsenal need a winger? No, absolutely not. Unless Saka gets a bad injury, right? Unless Saka gets a bad injury and then Martinelli and then Pepe. But apart from that, I don't see Arsenal go for Marco Asensio in January. But in the summer, he would be a very, very good addition. You need, I said you need the squad depth, so you need such players like Marco Asensio, and of course, Pepe's future is absolutely uncertain. We've got to say that Pepe's future is absolutely uncertain at Arsenal, absolutely uncertain. So with Pepe's future being uncertain, you have Pepe going out in January. Maybe Arsenal could think about a winger, but it would be unwise for me. It's the midfield. Come January, it's the midfield. Sort that out, and everything is under control. Everything is absolutely fine. So Xhaka, Asensio, Bissouma, and then Denis Zakaria. Well, I think that could be the best option for Xhaka, right? If Xhaka is not there, go for Denis Zakaria. It's a loan deal. It doesn't hurt, does it? And that's it. So that's it. But look, just before, I would love to see, I would love to hear what you guys think about the Marco Asensio deal before we talk about the rest of the staff. What do you think about Marco Asensio? Right? What do you think about Marco Asensio? Should Arsenal go for that in January? My focus in January should be a midfielder, and I'll see if Arsenal try to do that. If Arsenal try to do a midfielder. Michael says he thinks Leno should leave. Good evening, Cossy. Good evening to you, bro. Good evening to you, Tony. Hello, long time. How are you doing, Walter? Sally, how are you? I remember telling you, Cossy, that Arteta will win these games. Thank you so much. The prediction was right. And of course, what we want is, Arsenal to be performing well. For me, look, the moment Arsenal is performing well, I'm happy that you were right, right? I'm happy that you are right. I hate my club being a laughing stock. Right. Hi, Kosi. How are you doing? Abaka. Hope you're doing well as well. Poor performance of him in terms of distribution and communications in the back. He should stay and focus to fight back. All right. Hello, Kosi. How are you doing, Anu? Glad that you're on. Anu says Leno shouldn't leave. Leno shouldn't leave. Right. Yeah, Cossy, he's 29, making 30. And Rambo looks said, yeah, 23 years of age. Leno is, you know what, yeah? Leno's got a big problem because, Rambo is a young goalkeeper, right? Leno isn't useful, so he can leave, right? That's according to David. We are looking for struggle because of the Xhaka injury. Look, I don't know if you're going to struggle. I don't know if you're going to struggle. I don't know. Absolutely. I'm not even sure that we will struggle because of the Xhaka injury, unless otherwise. But let me see what Beta Globe had to say. Mohammed says, Leno will leave. Beta Globe says, yes, yes, he has been a liability than an asset, with the exception of the just included North London derby. That's Xhaka. That's talking about Xhaka. Yeah, I think Xhaka's been here too long and not really giving us what what we should be getting out of him. Cossy, good evening. I saw on social media Alexis Sanchez is coming back. Is it true? Social media, yeah, it's not true. It's not true at the moment. Remember, he is inconsistent, and also he can't stop getting red cards according to Better Club on Granit Xhaka. Not yet renewed. Yeah, that is Zakaria, right? Thank you so much. Yeah, Zakaria is not renewed. You know what? I'll do Zakaria, right? I'll do Zakaria in January. I'll do Zakaria. I don't know what you people think, but I'll do Zakaria in January. I think it's a good move. It would be an absolutely good move. Hillary, he has to leave and let Ramsdale be our second keeper. Runason, come on, Runason can't be a second goalkeeper. He's worse. Arsenal must get another midfielder who can come in case Partey gets injured. And Better Club says, I totally disagree. Runason is now an Arsenal is not Arsenal standard anymore. And I rate those young keepers ahead of him. I absolutely do as well. I think Runason is just not good enough. Remember, you cannot sign a quality keeper to play a second feeder, so must go for averages, for average ones. Maybe grooming one of our own. Maybe grooming out one of our own can work because you quite make a point. You quite make a point. It could be very hard for a club to just go out there and say we're getting in this one hell of a good goalkeeper because they never want to sit on the bench. You're not signing me to sit on the bench. And with goalkeepers, it's even tricky because when does a goalkeeper get injured? When does a goalkeeper lose form? Right? It takes time. So you're absolutely right. But maybe we could just groom one. Okay. Arsenal are looking to sign Marshall and hopefully Bissouma. Yeah, I've seen the Marshall story. I will definitely talk about it. Not today, probably. Asensio is good, but our problem is not in the wings. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Better Club. That's true. Asensio is good, but our problem is not in the wings, right? Not in the wings. Leno must leave because now we are okay. We are okay. I think you meant without him, right? Without him. What about Alexis Sanchez coming to Arsenal? Look, guys, to have Sanchez back at Arsenal, I would rather bring back Jack Wilshere. Yes. I would rather bring back Jack Wilshere. I would rather bring back Rambo and Arsenal. I'd rather bring back Alex and Bilal because those are the players that occupy the areas in which we are desperate. For Alex Sanchez, no, 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 not coming back, not coming back. I don't know anything about that. Bring in Bruno Guimaraes in January and we are sorted. But you can't get a player like Bruno Guimaraes in January. That's the problem. That's where these difficult. That's where the difficulties are. You can't bring in a player like Bruno Guimaraes in January, right? It could be, you can because because Leon could want the money, but it could be a little bit tricky, right? Good evening, my man Nuha in Italy. Good evening. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. But a player like Bruno Guimaraes, very good. I love Bruno Guimaraes. I would definitely pay 50, 60 million for him, but it's not that easy. It's not that easy. We need Leno, man. That was the mistake that was done with Martinez, letting him go. Let him go, and team lacked competition in the goal. We need good players in various areas. And think Mikel, just speak famous, not be famous. Just speak like Mikel in his last press conference because you know what he said is he was asked about Leno and Ramsdale and said new players are coming in and they're taking the places and positions of old players. So there's a bit of competition. I don't know if the competition is healthy, but as far as I know, Leno is not taking it calm. Let's speak about this story. Leno has actually come out and said that he has not been given clear reasons why he was dropped from the Arsenal squad, from the Arsenal 11, actually, not squad, but from the Arsenal 11, right? And this is what I did have a story on that. It is goal.com. Is it Charles Watts? Let's see. No, it's James Westwood that has written the story, but it's goal, and we can trust goal. So let's go. Let me read you. Let me give you a rate. So Arteta has not given me any clear reasons. Leno admits he could seek January transfer after losing Arsenal spot Ramsdale. Now we have to agree on one thing. Change is a must, isn't it? Change is a must, and not all players, in every institution, in every organization, there's got to be change, right? It could come arbitrarily, it could come announced, it could be organized. Change is gonna come at some point in time, because that's the way it is. That's the way the world runs. Change comes in, but not all of us take change in a good way, right? So for me, it just seems like Leno knows the reason as to why he was dropped, but he doesn't want to accept it. But he just doesn't want to accept the fact that I was dropped, right? Because the performances were not as good as the performances with Ramsdale, and that's enough to for the fans to say Rambo in, Leno out. I love you, Leno, and I love Leno so much, but at the moment I can't be on his side. Ramsdale, as a person who wants Arsenal to do better, I've got to support the agenda that is giving us points. And that is the agenda that Leno drops and Ramsdale goes into goal. Right, so this is what he said. The German goalkeeper has opened up on his frustration over lack of regular minutes at the start of the 2021-2022 campaign. Ben Leno has admitted that he could seek a January transfer window after losing his spot to as Arsenal number one to Aaron Ramsdale, while claiming Mikel Arteta has given him no clear reason for his decision. Arsenal spent a staggering $32 million, which is 24 million pounds, to bring in Aaron Ramsdale to the Emirates Stadium from Sheffield United in August, as Arteta sought to add greater depth to his goalkeeping ranks. The 23-year-old hasn't been content to accept backup role, quickly forcing his way into the Ghana's manager's starting 11 ahead of Leno, who is now considering his future in North London. Right. So before we go into what has been said, let me make this clear, guys. Let me make this absolutely clear. If you are, just imagine if you are a striker like Timo Werner, and then your club signs a 100 million striker, what do you expect? Because for me, a 32 million goalkeeper who plays in the championship, that value can as well be, it can as well be equivalent to 70 million. It could be it can be as well be equivalent to, 80 million, because you're looking at a 23-year-old goalkeeper relegated twice, and Arsenal is paying 32 million. We have a right back. The right back is 18 million, right? And our playmaker, our attacking midfielder, costs almost the same money as our backup goalkeeper. It wouldn't make sense. And we said it in the transfer window that the moment Arsenal sign in a backup goalkeeper that is worth 32 million, it is getting fishy. It's about to go down. It's getting fishy. And we have the fish in the pot now, isn't it? So Leno, this is what is Leno saying. He is considering leaving the club. He is considering going away from Arsenal Football Club because he feels they're not giving him the time. They're not giving him, the game time he deserves or he wants as a player. So this is what has been said. The German shortstopper says that he is in the dark as to why he is no longer first choice and is growing more frustrated. There was no reason why I was out, but it had nothing to do with my performance, Leno told Sport Bild. He is the trainer. He decides. Of course, it is difficult for me. Italian champions Inter are reportedly keeping a very close eye on the 29-year-old situation, and he concedes a switch to the Serie A might appeal so he can be closer to his family. Right. Leno is determined to turn his fortunes at Arsenal around, but has warned that he will have to assess his options if nothing has changed by the time the January transfer window comes. London is very nice. Milan is not bad either, and closer to my home, Stuttgart. Right. He added, I'm not seriously thinking about that yet. I feel comfortable at Arsenal in London. Only if nothing changes in my situation by winter would I have to think about things. What option do I have? How can I continue? I'm concentrating on my work in training. I can't commit to anything else at the moment. Wow, a little bit professional there. I love the professionalism. I'm not really a big professional, especially when it comes to representing myself, but I think he represents himself very well. Look, let's be honest. At the moment, Arsenal has two good goalkeepers. This is hard to say, right? This is very, very hard to say. But at the moment, Arsenal has two very good goalkeepers. We can't do away with the fact because we are fucking rich now, right? We're fucking rich. Cranky gave us some 142 million, and we use some of that to buy an expensive goalkeeper. So we have two good goalkeepers. But how is Manchester United managing to have two goalkeepers, one backing the other? How are they doing it? How is Chelsea doing it? Kepa and Mendy, because we've got to borrow a leaf. We've got to pluck a page out of their book. We can't, whenever we have two good goalkeepers, we can't keep losing one. It's absolutely, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right? So at the end of the day, people, we've got to think about it. Mikel and the team, they've got to think about it. How do we keep both goalkeepers? Is Leno really going to play as backup? No. Can Ramsdale be backup? Yes, he can. Do we want Ramsdale to be dropped? No, we do not. I think that it goes back to the manager. It goes back to the manager. You let Leno go, and then finding a better goalkeeper to back up. Because Runason is shit, and Arthur Okonkwo for me is non-ready. Non-shit, but non-ready. The likes of Carl Hayne, I just feel like they are non-ready, right? They are non-ready. Yes, you might just feel like these young players coming from the academy, growing together and things like that. But you need a serious backup goalkeeper, a serious one. So that's a big question with Leno. My question is, do you think Leno wants out? I don't think he wants out. He wants to be number one at Arsenal, right? And he's just looking at his position being threatened. It's like you're the main boyfriend. yeah, this is a really ridiculous example. But if you're the main boyfriend, or if you take yourself as the main boyfriend, and then you get the news that you're now the second guy without no explanations, it's got to be hard for you. And I know it's very very hard for Leno, right? It's very very hard. It's very hard for Leno, to be number one, and then eventually you drop. But I don't know your thoughts are already clear. You guys are not on Leno's side, so I don't even want to play the hypocritical game. I don't want you guys to play with a hypocritical game with me. I know where your thoughts are. I know where I don't know. I know the side on which you are, and I really know, right? Arsenal is getting better day by day because fans are reconnecting with the players, and players gaining confidence and momentum. They just need to be more clinical and consistent. Period. Absolutely, absolutely. Uh, and it would and Navi says, and it would have been wise to bring in Houssem Owa and let ESR to play in the left than bring in Marco. Yeah, I would agree to that. Dan Duke UG says thanks for the update. Wow, that's really a good comment. Thanks for appreciating. Leno should accept competition. He had his time and didn't take it seriously. Well, I think I don't know what happened to Leno from last season. He just became a bad goalkeeper. It's even hard for me to say because I'm one of those people who are happiest when we signed in Leno. I was so happy. I was absolutely very very happy. I just don't know how it came to this. I just can't explain how it came to that. Leno now Leno has become second choice to a 23-year goalkeeper from relegation, who is good by the way. He's really really good. And I told you in the transfer window that he was going to be good. So look, I think, Regan, you make a very good point. Maybe he should fight for his place, but he's looking at himself. He's 29. What if he never? What if Ramsdale becomes so good? It's like at the moment, if you're fighting with Benjamin, Chelsea, Ederson, Manchester City, David De Gea, Manchester United, and Alisson, Liverpool, or even Pickford, it's gonna be hard. It's absolutely gonna be hard for you, right? Yes, Leno still very important. The situation needs handling carefully. You're right, right? Inter are looking for Leno instead of Onana by Romano, and I think if you want to bring in Onana, if you bring in Onana, you're actually creating the same kind of problem that we are running away from by letting Leno go. Because if Onana comes in, he's going to ask for fast-chase football. We know that. There's no question about that. He's going to ask for fast-chase football. Do you want to drop Ramsdale for Onana? Maybe yes, maybe no. But I know Inter have always wanted Andre Onana. Man, I don't like Marco. His failed talent, bro. That guy has failed to prove himself. To prove himself a standard player, we're having Martinelli seated on the bench. We don't need Marco, and I would agree with you. I would absolutely agree with you. I think Arsenal do need to get in. I think we need to give Martinelli more time because we might lose that lad. I'm telling you for facts now. We might lose that lad, and I don't want it to happen. I absolutely don't want even to think about it. I don't want us to lose Gabi Martinelli, right? I don't want us to lose Gabi Martinelli. What else had I to say? Xhaka, Asensio, Leno, right? And then Mikel Arteta. I wanted to speak about Mikel. I want to speak about Mikel, and he will be the last topic. For me, I believe Leno is a good goalkeeper than Ramsdale, but he has only lost his form, has just dropped it like it was in the place of the game. I cannot disagree with you. I absolutely can't disagree with you. Link is in the comment section if you want to give me your thoughts, though. But I can't disagree with you. I really can't disagree with you. I can't. And the reason that's why I can't disagree with you yeah, is we know what Leno is capable of, and we know that he can be a good goalkeeper at a top level. So I will never agree with people who continue saying Leno is shit, Leno what. I will never agree with them. I will never agree with you. I know Leno is a good goalkeeper. I know he's lost his form. I don't know if he's had anything that we do not know behind the scenes, but he is a top goalkeeper. And if he goes to Inter, Winter can't go to Winter. Sorry, if he goes to Inter, sorry, in winter, they can win the league. They can't. Wherever he is, he cannot be a goalkeeper who stands in your way as a club to achieve your goals. He can actually be a big facilitator. He can't. He can't be a big facilitator. And I would love that to happen. And I would love to see that happen. Let's get into Mikel Arteta, the big man. Guys, Arteta out, Arteta in. All of you are on this channel. Let's stop this crap. I'm just tired of it. Arteta in, Arteta out. I'm just tired of it now. I'm just tired of it. Because all we want, all what Arsenal fans, all of us want, we do not want a manager sacked. We do not want players out. We want Arsenal at the top. That is what we want. We've got to agree. So I'm officially announcing that I'm out of the Arteta in, Arteta out shit. I'm absolutely out of it. I don't believe he's the manager that takes us to win trophies. I don't think he's the manager that leads us to glory. But again, I don't think just always saying Arteta in, Arteta out, Arteta in makes any sense. I don't think it takes us anywhere as a club. I don't think it does. So, to be honest, we've got to end that shit. We've got to end it. I think for me, what would be better though, right? What would be better is if we now focus on how do we get Arsenal better. I think because we are getting better if we can stay consistent. Someone talked about it in the chat. So let's speak about Mikel. Mikel Arteta was under immense pressure coming into the last 4 games in his on his calendar. And after those 4 games, the lad has been nominated among the managers of the month, last month, October. Is it October or September? Where are we? I think we are in October, and he's been nominated as manager of the month, manager of the month, September. And I'm gonna say this. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad that an Arsenal manager is nominated among the best. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad that an Arsenal manager has turned things around. Because at the end of the day, it is Arsenal that has got the respect. At the end of the day, it is I, a fan, that fans are not picking on me anymore. Because they're not picking on me. And I love that. And that is what I absolutely love, as a football fan. I want my club to be at the top. And whenever we are, I'm absolutely grateful. So, Arteta, what do people think about Mikel? He's turned things around. We know that. 3 games without a win, conceding 9 goals at the start of the season. And then the next 3 games, the lad has, how many has he scored? 5. Yes, he scored 5 and conceded 1 and collected 9 out of 9 points. So Mikel maybe deserves some big credit. He deserves the credit. And look, if he wins manager of the month, I'm absolutely happy for him. I'm absolutely happy for him, right? Because he's been working under pressure. He's been working under pressure, and he's been working with a group of new players. Some of them, the likes of Tomiyasu, the likes of Ramsdale, the likes of Ben White, have never played for a big team, and they even don't know what it means to play for a big team like Arsenal. With all due respect, right? So I'm just happy the way Mikel has turned things around, and I just pray, can he stay on the same road, right? You don't expect him to win all the games that are remaining. So all the time he loses, it shouldn't be Conte in, Arteta out. For me, at the moment, he's not yet proved to me anything, not anything. But what I love is that he's learned from his mistakes. Get an 11 that is consistent. If he can do that, because for the last 3 games, he has a consistent 11, right? He has a consistent 10, he has a consistent 9. 9 out of 10 players, or 9 out of 11 players playing every game. That is what you want, right? You want a manager that can pick a team. You want a manager that can pick an 11. And I think we have, in Mikel, we are starting to get ourselves a manager that can pick an 11. As simple as that. Wanted that last season, and I'm getting it this season. The other thing I will credit him for is the way he has handled the dressing room. There's been a little frustration in the Arsenal side. There's been a little frustration. You could see it in the players' veins on their faces. They were disinterested. They were frustrated. But he's turned things around. What are your thoughts on Mikel? I'd love to give you guys the voice. How are you doing, Quincy?
Yes, I'm doing good. I wanted to talk about the Ramsdale Leno situation and about the transfers of Bissouma and the Juventus central midfield and Arsenal possibly bringing in Martial. I don't know if you've heard about it, but there are rumors that Arsenal can sign Martial from Man United for 40 million. And I'll talk about the Martinez. But I want to first talk about Arteta being nominated for Manager of the Month. I think that it's unfair to compare Arteta to Guardiola and Klopp, and because they have at least 10, 15 years of managerial experience. But you can compare to him to other coaches, like maybe someone like Solskjaer. Because Solskjaer has coached another team, but this is the first time he's coached a big team. So I think it'd be fair to compare him to Solskjaer. And I think Arteta has proven to be a better manager and coach than Solskjaer. I think if you look at recently, the reason why Arsenal's results has turned around because recently there was Arteta did a meeting last. I think when Arsenal lost 3 games in a row, there was a meeting at the Hill where Arsenal trained, the training ground. There was a big meeting in which the managers and the coaches asked the players to give their opinion as to what's going wrong in the team. And ever since the players were allowed to express themselves and say, you know what, manager, this maybe this tactics is this way, or maybe manager, we don't like the food, or ever since the players been allowed to express themselves as to what they think is wrong with the team or what's wrong with why they're not winning results, boom, Arsenal have gone on a run and are winning games after game. That shows how good of a manager Arteta is, because football is not about just the playing, it's about the man management of the players as well. Ever since he's allowed the players to express themselves to say what they think is wrong with the team, they have been performing. He's managed to get into the players' hearts and minds, and now they want to win for him and the club. That shows how good a manager he's turned it around. And I think that I don't know how old Arteta. I think Arteta is 38, 39 years old. I'm not too sure. But you've muted your mic. Yeah, Arteta's
Around
38, 30,
39. Yeah, around
yeah.
39. Still very, very young.
And I think a manager that is very, very young for a manager. I think Arteta so far, I think I'm beginning to feel we should keep him on to let him imprint his DNA into the team, because changing managers can sometimes upset the balance. Sometimes the West of Chelsea, they changed managers twice and went on to win the Champions League on those 2 occasions. So sometimes it works, sometimes it don't work. But for Arsenal, I think maybe we need to give Arteta a run. We need to give him money to spend in January again. And I think how Arteta's man managed the Lacazette and Aubameyang situation was spot on. Aubameyang and Lacazette chose not to perform anymore, and one of them's being on the bench and going to be sold. This will serve as a lesson to the players. Bellerin is gone. He wasn't performing. He was, passing the ball to a position we saw with Tammy Abraham when Tammy Abraham scored. His actual man management is actually a lot better than we think it is, especially from an inexperienced manager. And tactically, I'm seeing improvements from us, especially in the last 3-4 games. Let's include the League Cup games against, I think, West Brom and the other small team we've played that are not in the Premier League. We've actually seen Arteta tactically getting it right. And I think we should let him stay on and imprint his DNA into the Arsenal team, his style of play, how he wants us to play, how he wants us to win games, and allow him to develop. Because this is a very young team. Most of the Arsenal players are under 23. Like 80% of them are 23 or under. This is a very, very young team. This Arsenal team, if you take Aubameyang, Partey out, can play for. If you take Aubameyang, Partey out, the rest of the team, including the bench, they can play for the Arsenal under 23 team because they're within that age bracket. We don't realize how young this team is and how young the manager is himself. So this just shows that if they can get this group of players to play together for 2-3 seasons, this Arsenal team, if they keep improving, we are in for a team that's going to be challenging for top 4, which is the minimum that we want. Challenging for top and finishing at least in the top 4 and getting Champions League football and playing amongst the European elites is what Arsenal play a team want. That's at least that should be the foundation, and then on to winning big trophies. Arteta, I'm not Arteta. I was Arteta out, but now I think we should give him a chance. He's turned it around. He's proven that he's got very good, brilliant man management. He sat down with the players to ask them what was wrong, and ever since the players expressed themselves, we've been winning. And in case of the Leno, I think Leno needs to go. I think the first game against Brighton, I think Leno, there was a set piece. I don't know if it was a throw-in or that Brighton scored from, or like a long ball in the box. But Leno was at fault for the goal. I don't know if it was a corner kick, but Leno was at fault for the goal. He allowed the Brighton players to get in front of him. And as a goalkeeper, you can use your hands on other players. You're a goalkeeper. And he didn't do that. He didn't use his arm. He didn't use his physicality. As a goalkeeper, you're also supposed to organize the back four in the defense. So if a player is standing in front of you in a set piece, you're supposed to tell the players in front of you, maybe one Ben White or I know they weren't playing, but one of the defenders to get the player out of there. As a goalkeeper, you're supposed to shout and organize. I like goalkeepers who shout and command their defenders. And I'm beginning to see Ramsdale do that, especially when we played our last game against Tottenham and Tomiyasu made a clearance and he was like shouting, bursting. You need your goalkeeper to have that fire in to tell the defenders how to organize themselves, where to stand, in set pieces, free kicks. And Leno wasn't doing none of that. I'm seeing Ramsdale doing that. Also, Ramsdale, I see that this is his only ever opportunity he's going to have at a big club. So he's taking this opportunity to make sure he nails down this place in Arsenal. So he's going to make sure that goalkeeping spot is his. And I think that in January, like I said, you said earlier, if we don't play Martinelli will be good. I think Martinelli will get his time. I think in January, Xhaka will go to Juventus. I can see it happening. And I can see Smith Rowe pushing into Xhaka's position and Martinelli being put in where Smith Rowe is playing on the left wing, simply because Pepe, he's a hit and miss. I think Martinelli and Saka are better than him now.
Yeah, I mean, there is that kind of frustration with Nicola Pepe, and it's just growing. It's just growing every season. Fans expect him to blossom, and then it becomes the dead flower every season. It's kind of frustrating. But my question with Leno is, one is, aren't we very excited about Ramsdale? Aren't we very excited? Because we know that Leno had a very, very good season last season, but one, and he was nominated among the best, the best players at the club, among the best 3, with Saka and Aubameyang. And that was a very, very good season. And that's the season in which we decided that Leno stays and Emi Martinez goes. And we back in the same situation. If we let Leno go, right? If we let Leno go, and then Ramsdale loses form or backslides, where do we go from there?
I think that is a very, very important situation. We obviously regret letting Martinez go. We saw what Martinez did to Ronaldo and Manchester United on the weekend, teasing Ronaldo to take the penalty, and Bruno skying it, fire in the sky, and Martinez dancing. That is exactly the goalkeeper we needed. He's world class now, but we regret letting him go. Now with Ramsdale, I think the problem with Arsenal and the lack of players performing at the top level was mainly because of Ozil influencing the other players. Ozil didn't give a damn, and they rubbed onto the other players, Aubameyang, Lacazette, David Luiz, Mustafi, Kolasinac. Remember, Kolasinac and Mustafi were very close to Ozil. So Ozil's lack of effort and I don't care attitude rub off on those players are no longer there. 6 or 7 of them who were playing like they don't care are no longer there. So even if Leno leaves, Ramsdale don't have the people to influence and not to give him the plus. You have to remember, this is Ramsdale's only chance at the top. he will not want to, play with it like Leno did. You feel me? Leno may play for another top team. He may go to Italy, Serie A, I don't know. But Ramsdale know that if he plays around, Arsenal will sell him. Arsenal are willing to sell and bring in another goal. He will not be playing around. I think he's good enough. But you can see how serious he takes this, because when he got signed, Arsenal fans were abusing him. So there's doubts. That is why you're seeing him perform at the top level. The pressure, being at Arsenal is there. And I think Ramsdale has the right attitude. Even his brother on Twitter said, his brother Ramsdale wants to perform at the top of Arsenal. I think in January it will be the key here. We need to bring in, either Bissouma. I saw Bissouma in the title. We need to maybe bring in Bissouma. We need to sign a striker. Arsenal are looking to sign either Martial for 40 million for Manchester United, or Sevilla striker. I think we should. Martial is only 25, 26, right?
Nah, but for me, look, Quincy. For me, Martial. The reason that's why Martial has failed to, the reason that's why he's failed at Manchester United, because he's definitely failed there. He is a good footballer, and I can never take that away from him. He's a good footballer. When you watch him, when you look at him, there is some kind of good football there. There is a good footballer in there. There is some magic in him, but he's failed to put that on pitch. He's failed to put that on pitch. And I think he's the kind of striker Arsenal need. You need someone that just allows your midfielders to play. You need someone that just allows your midfielders to be active. You need someone who bangs in goals. For me, it's not Martial. It's absolutely not Martial.
No, wait. Martial is not a striker, though. He can play striker or the other wing, the left wing or right wing. If he comes to Arsenal, we can easily put him where Elmer Smith-Rowe is playing on the left wing. He's right footed on the left wing. And I think he'll be a lot more potent than Pepe. He's definitely better than Pepe. He'll be a lot more direct than Pepe. And I think he will be a great addition. So I think Arsenal looking to sign him, not as striker, but as a winger, is actually a good signing. 25, 26 years old. Maybe Solskjaer is not managing him right. There's a lot of world-class players at Manchester United like Pogba who've not reached their potential. Pogba, even Mata at Chelsea, one of the players that helped Chelsea win the Champions League. At Manchester United, he's been a shadow of himself. So there's obviously something. Solskjaer's obviously not doing his job right somewhere. So these are world-class players. And at Arsenal, he may blossom under Arteta. Sanchez blossomed at Arsenal, and Manchester United, he didn't. Sometimes the team is not right for you. Sometimes the team that you're at, the manager's tactics doesn't suit your style of play. Sometimes when you're in a certain league, the league is, for example, Serie A is slow. That's why a lot of players go there to retire. It's slow. It's also a very defensive league. Most results are 1-0, 2-1. The Premier League is fast-paced. It's for younger footballers, fast-paced, lots of energy, lots of tackles. And the La Liga is more of a passing football. A bit like everyone plays at Barcelona pass. You don't see crosses, long balls in it. So maybe Martial is just in the wrong team, playing under the wrong tactics. That doesn't suit his talent. And maybe Arteta may be able to get the best out of him.
And he could be in the wrong league as well. Because for me, if he goes to Germany, he does well. If he goes to La Liga, Spain, he does well. If he goes to France, where he was with Monaco, he does well. And I think all those leagues have one thing in common: they have slow football, right? They absolutely have slow football. I don't think with Premier League, yes, it's tricky, and I don't think it might be his league. If I'm going to United, I'm going for one player, and that's Donny van de Beek. Do you think he would work for us? Do you think Donny would be the answer? Or Donny or Lingard? Actually, I would go for Lingard and not Anthony Martial.
Lingard is a central midfielder, right? No, I wouldn't go for Lingard because in midfield we have Partey. I know Xhaka is going to be. We have Partey, Lokonga. I think Smith-Rowe, Odegaard, and El Nenius. I know El Nenius is not good now. He needs to be moved on. But in terms of going for Lingard, I don't think Lingard is good enough to get into the Arsenal midfield ahead of Smith-Rowe, Odegaard, or Partey. You know, he may be better than Emil Smith Rowe for now, but Emil Smith Rowe has so much potential that if we keep playing, he's going to keep improving. I would prefer we go for Bissouma at Brighton.
Well,
Sign him.
you know what Lingard gives you? Because Lingard is more like a 10, right? Like a Dele Alli. He would be like a Dele Alli, but I think he's a little bit, more direct and more sharper as a player. And the reason that's why I would go for Lingard. I never liked Lingard, by the way. Not until I watched him on England. It was in the first international break. Then I was like, wow, there is something about this boy. So, what Lingard gives you. Squad depth is one of them, but also that ability to tear down defenses, just to tear through them, just like that. I would absolutely take him. Listen, Quincy, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it, brother. Right. That is Quincy, and of course, his thoughts are absolutely respected and marvelous, absolutely marvelous. Because what I think the thing is said that interested me most is the fact about Anthony Martial. You know, you might have a manager because Martial was good under Luis Van Gaal. He was, right? But can he be good at Arsenal? I don't know. Would you guys take Anthony Martial? We'll talk about Anthony Martial tomorrow, right? Which player is headed to Juve? Not yet at the moment, but Juve wants Xhaka. They have Locatelli. I don't see that going there. Henry says, what happened to Wenger attending our matches at least for once since he left Arsenal? I've been seeing Ferguson attending almost all Manchester United games. Now, with Arsene Wenger, by the time he left Arsenal, because let's say this, Wenger and Ferguson have not left these clubs under the same circumstances. Not the same. Arsene Wenger left Arsenal as a manager that had built everything, and they stepped on him. They never gave him the respect he deserved. Sir Alexander Chapman Ferguson, on the other hand, left Manchester United as a hero, as a manager that was absolutely respected. So I think there were those kind of inner problems, inner problem that Arsene Wenger had. And because he's already spoken about it, that he will only come back at Arsenal if one person leaves. He has never said the person. Arteta winning manager of the month will be good for Arsenal. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely very good, Quincy. And thank you so much for coming on as well. They have decided to give one time. Has been given money. Good players and has stayed longer than MA, but hasn't won even a cup of porridge. But Arteta has already given us two. Given us two in 2 seasons. We are very excited about Ramsdale, Ben, Tomiyasu, and Sambi at Arsenal. Guys, it's been very interesting. That is the evening Arsenal show, always airing at 9 p.m. Right? Always airing at 9 p.m. So make sure you do check it out. Yeah, I think we should call it today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been very, very wonderful. And I promise I'll speak to you very, very soon in the next one.